It's an absolute must-have. It will deliver a very healthy ROI because the team would be using this software and its insights. They'd be looking for upsell opportunities, looking for referrals, looking for retention, escalation challenges. You immediately would have the confidence that you've got the right team.
Hey everybody, I'm Brett and I'm here to introduce the Customer Profit Engine, and I'm here joined today by agency legend Brad Ferris. Brad, really thank you for joining us today and excited to have your input on this project.
Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. I have the unique and awesome opportunity to introduce viewers to a brand new concept that I've had an opportunity to not just give some insights, but also play a little bit of role in the development of the Customer Profit Engine. If you know who I am, then I don't need much of an introduction. If the first time that you're hearing me before, I spend time on stage each month coaching over 350 agencies on account management best practices, hiring best practices, maximizing lifetime value in our customer journey each and every moment of every day inside of the teams. I do have my own multiple seven-figure agency called Clinic Grower. I have a hiring company called Agency Growth Team and a new initiative called Propel Leadership. I spend time, almost all the time, with visionaries, putting their minds in a box, setting it on the shelf, and having them kind of watch their account management, good and bad, happen inside of their business. They're focused on getting more sales, reducing churn, having happier clients, generating more referrals. And as much as that sounds absolutely positive and credible, anyone that's going to be on this call is going to realize that is a full-time job, multiple person job, and sometimes it gives us a lot of gray hair. So the fact that we've got a tool to introduce today that's going to take all of those problems away is something that I am very excited to be a part of. So with all of that being said, and over to Brett, I'll let you take it from here.
Thanks, Brad, and really excited to be here. Honestly, just getting to do this partnership, especially with you, someone who's been there, both as an agency owner and someone who places account managers and has done it and helped so many lives as you continue to build better leaders. We really appreciate you. We're really excited to roll out this beta and tell everyone about what we're building today. And I'll go ahead and just introduce all of us and tell you a little bit about what we're building while we're here today. So of course, I'm Brett. I work with digital marketing agency owners. I have as a fractional COO. I've worked with over 60 agencies in depth, so I know the problems of agency owners. On top of that, I want to introduce Josh. He spent 15 years in corporate. 10 of those years he spent with billion-dollar beauty brand L'Oreal. Josh, of course, you worked your way all the way up, and you had some big wins, which we'll talk about today. They're including going from 3 million to 10 million in one single division with no new sales, only from building profit within. You also spent 5 years as COO of a larger digital marketing company, 97 Team One, where you helped to go from around 7% down to 1.8% churn rate. Really awesome. All of that included in your 5 profit playbooks, which we'll talk about. But Josh, thanks for being here.
Yeah, Brett, thanks for the introduction and excited to be here.
Yep. And also I want to introduce Omar Seydoun. So Omar is our CTO. Omar has built billion-dollar enterprise software. He's an emerging technology expert, and we'll hear more about what you built today, Omar. But thank you for being here once again. Excited to talk today.
Thank you very much, Brett. It's great to be here, and thanks to Brad, to share this time with us.
And so again, Brad, just can't say enough about your experience and your leadership. And so I'll just pass it back to you, Brad. Like, what is it about this as we kind of unite and talk about what we've built today that you think unites best with AGT and the world-class service you and your team provide to agency owners in the account management side?
I think the ability here is everything that's inside of the platform that Josh has built is stuff we've been talking about forever. So we've taught the concepts, but maybe it was difficult to see that in the actual day-to-day job. Now we'll be able to talk about that concept and go, let's open your dashboard. Let's look at the 3 clients in the reporting that are exhibiting exactly this so we can demonstrate to you what that looks like. Well, again, as an agency owner, they're looking to me and Tasha to go, did they really get it? And we're looking back, winking, going, they nailed it. 100% they got it. Or we've showed them 3 times. The insights are inside of the platform. They're not connecting the dots. We might not have the right person. For any of these individuals, we're generally coaching them on a weekly or monthly basis. That's going to be long term. But we would now just have a very impressive tool in our arsenal to say to that client that we're coaching, and they go, oh, our retention's at 97%. Hey, there's still 3% there that we got to work on, right? Let's go into the platform. Let's look at the insights. Let's see what opportunities are there. Most agencies are not focusing on the upsells. They're just trying to keep the client for as long as they possibly can, rather than focusing on increasing the lifetime value through these initiatives. I think that that's going to be a wonderful opportunity for us to coach, to open it up, to show people exactly how to use it, and also to help increase adoption in terms of let's use it more often.
Thanks, Brad. And I'll just kind of run everyone through how we got to this point. As a fractional COO, I meet a lot of people, and I ran into Josh, who was also a fractional COO at the time, and we got to talking. I asked him, what is your past? And as Josh mentioned, I spent 10 years in multi-billion-dollar brand L'Oreal. The big win that he had that helped him rise was taking $3 million in annual revenue to $10 million in annual revenue with no new sales. So that's $7 million difference just from what he calls the 5 profit playbooks. And he continued to say he then spent 5 years in a digital marketing agency, which was a 97 team agency where he took them from 7.5% churn rate down to 1.8% churn rate. And what is this? That's amazing. Those numbers are great. How did you get those kind of results? Essentially, what Josh explained was in your customer base, there are hidden signals that your client base gives off at any given time that if read correctly, you can determine and dig into those signals and be able to predict the customer's behavior and therefore get ahead of actions. For example, customers that may leave, well, they don't leave the day of. They put out signals such as checking contract or maybe late talking to emails or less engagement, and they're making those decisions 30, 60, and 90 days before they actually leave. So if you can get wind of those signals and identify them early, you can actually do something about it. And so what Josh has done with his system over that 15-year career is the ability to train your account managers to identify those hidden signals, categorize them into black and white binary objective categories, and those categories being associated with actions that he can coach your account manager to actually take, to dig into, and ultimately lead to profit on your bottom line. And while Josh, in his companies with all the resources of corporate and being in different departments, he had to do that manually. So it took months of work for him to comb through and train the team to find those signals, identify them, write it down, pass it to different teams. What we've done is we've taken those 5 profit playbooks and all the work Josh has done, and we've synthesized it down to this platform, the Customer Profit Engine, with Omar's work, and boil it down to make what used to take months, turning it down into days. And so with that, we went out and we said, it's a great concept, but how does it really work? The tech is new. Let's give it a try. So what we did is one of the agencies that I work with personally, I asked, hey, can we take the customer service team you're setting up and can we run it through a pilot? So for 3 months, we worked with this agency as a pilot and we found some amazing results using it. We found in the first week a signal that showed us there was $6,000 upsell sitting right there for the CSM that they didn't even know about. It was hidden in their data, but it surfaced, and having her attack it, that's when we knew we were onto something, and it resulted in $6,000 in profit for the agency. And then on top of that, we really dug in for the main goal, which was to fix the leaky retention. And as a result of the 3-month pilot, we found a 4% trend in churn decrease. We found 54K estimated ARR that was protected in their base through auditing, an estimated $500,000 in profit that we know we can bring if we just continue to drive with their AM team, which is still in progress. That's what we have. Really exciting stuff in running this pilot. And with that, what I want to do is we want to open this up and show you some demos. So for that, Josh, I'm going to hand to you and let you run through the actual software and how this can change your life as an agency owner and fix some of the issues you deal with day to day. So first one agency owners deal with is knowing where account health scores are. Right now, what happens in your agency, you have an account manager who might have had 8 meetings today, and you meet with them on a Monday, or you look at a spreadsheet and they highlight them, red, green, yellow. What is that? That is their subjective opinion on where the client's health is, right? We had a good call, so I think they're green. But inevitably, what ends up happening? At some point, that client who is green just falls off, and you never would have guessed it because they were green.
My feedback would be talking about static metrics versus dynamic metrics. So they're always like, what color are you, Mr. Client? I'm green. Well, you got an objective 47. What's the difference between someone who's like, I'm good, I'm green, right? Whereas 47 is they are not green.
That's the subjectivity, right? Relying on opinion. So Josh, that's the first thing we set out with your system in the software. How do we solve that one?
Yeah, so we don't want you or any business to have to rely on a subjective opinion of a health score. We know what happens with that. So we have a software that scrubs the data for you and puts it into a very black and white objective version of a health score, giving you red, yellow, and green. Now you can rely on actually what's the real health of your customer.
And another one that agency owners, of course, deal with all the time is things slipping through the cracks, right? So an account manager gets on a call, they might have 5 or 6 meetings, and then by the end of the day, there's a few things they forgot to report to the back-end team. And what does that do? Well, the client maybe gets a little angry or confused that they said it, but it never got recorded and never got done. The changes didn't get fixed, and ultimately it falls back on the entrepreneur, and then it decreases trust. And trust, if you don't have that, it's going to lead to what? It's going to lead to churn. So instead of leading to churn, what do we do about that scenario? The things slipping through the cracks lead to less trust, leading to less churn.
Yeah, I mean, churn is the biggest problem in a lot of agencies, as I'm sure some of you already know. What our software does is it actually goes through and pulls out early trigger warnings, what I call churn signals, and allows your team to get ahead of the churn 60 to 90 days before it even happens. So when a customer starts thinking, hey, this is not right for me, they're already having the conversation and saving that customer.
The platform's going to pick up on all of those little nuances, right? The irritations, the hesitations, the impatience. I think what you're doing is you're really bridging the psychology of the client to the account management team of what is the real pain and struggle that client is experiencing. And your platform is going to be showcasing, here's their urgency, here's their pain, here are the cues to help you better understand how to message to that client, handle that client, what are they saying, what are they not saying. A platform here enables the more inexperienced team essentially accumulate that experience at scale and speed.
Yeah, and Josh, another one I find when I go into agencies, and Brad, you probably experienced this too. You have all these software set up. You have your ticket system, your Slack, you got your project management, your CRM, you got your own emails, you got your AM's emails, and they're all over the place. Sometimes that causes confusion. You have to dig into other places to find info of clients. The CSM, they might notice you're talking to the client and they're not CC'd. What do we do to bring all that together and eliminate that confusion?
Our software gives you the advantage of having it all in one place and actually being able to see every single meeting note, every single call that client is having with your CSM, ClickUp, Slack, any messages that come through. It's all held in one spot for each customer.
Now, another one has to do with actual money, right? And most agency owners that I work with, they come in, they set up their account manager, they set a commission, and they say, you're going to make more money off of upsells. The problem with that, of course, and I've learned this from you, Josh, is what does it lead to? It leads to an account manager whose whole job is to build the trust of the customer so that they stay with you forever. You're kind of cutting into their trust, again, by having someone who's not trained in sales, trying to sell, and therefore decrease trust. Josh, what do we do for that specific problem?
Our software actually combs through your customers' conversations with your account managers and services the signals, what I call expansion signals, that when your client is ready for something new, bigger, or better, your account manager will know. And it won't be a, hey, this is an upsell. It'll be a natural conversation. And our software actually shows you exactly what kind of conversation to have, what question to ask in order to get them to that next step.
So another one we see is agency owners who don't always know exactly what their account managers cost, because sometimes you don't actually know how many account managers you need, how many clients your account managers can each handle. And ultimately there's an opportunity there to have more profit and not have to pay as much and have a more efficient account management department.
Yeah, so our software actually runs a cost to serve analysis for you. It takes all of your information, all the data that you've provided for us or that AI has gathered itself and publishes it into 80-20 analysis. It shows you exactly where you're spending your money when it comes to customer service. And you can leverage that to then make your customer service team more efficient, ultimately to save you the money to make you the most profit possible.
Another one, of course, Josh, is one close to my heart. And Brad, I know close to yours, it's the scale problem. As you go on, inevitably, in your agency, you'll have an account manager and they'll probably leave, right? You always have to be ready, be able to move on. And with your relationships, when an account manager leaves, a lot of times that relationship kind of goes with them because the context, the relationship, everything about the account, it's all in the head of the CSM. And what's that do? It makes you as the agency owner have to jump back in and tremendous time wasted trying to train and bring someone else up to speed and give them context. How do we solve that one?
So our software actually takes that in your head context and in your head relationship and puts it into a dashboard. You're able to go in here and see score history. You're able to go in here and see customer sentiment over the last 30 days and really get a good download of how the customer's feeling and get all the juicy details behind it without having to have a relationship for over the last 6 months, 12 months, and really decrease that speed of needing to know, how do I get to know this customer from 60 to 90 days to now from day one, I know who this customer is and how to deal with them.
So for a newer account manager, those advanced skills might come at 12 to 18 months. Well, in this instance, you're bringing it to them in 18 days. So now you're looking for a better facilitator, someone who is using tools and information in order to prioritize potentially their key decisions based on agency objectives. And of course, you guys have the ability to customize based on the agency's objectives. So to be able to take someone who's newer, less experienced, be able to equip them with better tools, essentially in their toolbox much faster, it's going to lead to a much higher ROI because you're getting to your objectives so much faster.
So another thing that happens as an agency owner is when you hand off those relationships to your account managers, you start kind of losing a beat on your clients, and the clients start to lose the DNA of the founder. And the only way to get them better is to coach them based on the feedback that they are giving you. You don't have direct insight to hearing what the clients are actually saying. On top of that, you're making adjustments to your business, marketing, sales, improvements in fulfillment based on individual situations that you hear from individual clients through the CSMs. So Josh, wouldn't it be nice if you could have really understanding why they signed with you over competitors, all that intelligence that you could feedback loop back into your backend to improve your actual business on the whole? What do we have with that kind of intelligence in order to add to profit and keep the DNA of the owner so the owner knows what kind of coaching moments to make their team stronger on based on what they built?
The cool thing about the software is it actually pulls out and extracts all of that intelligence from conversations, much like the signals that we were talking about with churn and with expansion. But this, a little differently, will actually provide the objections or the things that you're pulling out from a conversation in your onboarding that are going to highlight exactly what's going on, allowing for these coaching moments to happen. So you're not having to fish around or dig around or wait for someone to yell at you before you have a coaching moment. You can go in here and dig and look at something and say, oh, I got to talk to my CX manager about this, or I have to feed this back over to marketing or feed this into sales so that their processes can get better.
As owners, we might hear someone say the word if, and immediately we think to ourselves, okay, there's a fork in the road, right? They're encountering a decision on do I go left or right? An account manager might hear if and just go, well, that's just if. People use that word 11 times an hour in their day-to-day. The benefit of the software insight is it sees the if and it immediately identifies, very similar to an agency owner, the danger or the high risk potential of that word. And it gives either suggestions or interpretations based off of not just its knowledge base, but kind of what's happening with that client. I think an agency owner, entrepreneur is a little bit of an enigma. We're kind of the unicorn. You're just kind of breaking off the horn and handing it to your team and saying, hey, at scale, here are the insights that I would likely be picking up from these client interactions, that if I could be with you each and every day, mentoring you side by side each and every day, we would probably collectively pick up on. But again, they're only one person. So if they have an account management team of 4, how are they going to be on 4 simultaneous calls? It's an impossible ask. So the benefit is you have a technology tool doing all of that heavy lifting for you, and then you have the ability to refine it.
Now, another one, guys, that I think is really pertinent too, and this is something new that Josh, you taught, and Brad, I think you guys teach this as well, but it's the idea of renewal readiness. We don't have to sit back and have our CSMs hope reactively that a client will come back. Your approach is digging in there and finding clues that would tell us, hey, we can get ahead of this conversation and renew proactively, and therefore minimize that problem of churn. We can get ahead of problems. So Josh, how do you attack that one with what we built in Customer Profit Engine?
Much like all the rest of what the software is doing, extracting information and data and turning it into intelligence, it does the same thing with retention and renewal readiness. It can determine exactly how ready a client is to renew and give you that information 90 days beforehand. So you can start having a conversation about what does the future look like for this customer to stay with us, and create success plans and create quarterly value reviews and have those conversations.
Yeah, and so that kind of wraps up more or less the main problems that we are attacking with this. Of course, there's more, but those are kind of the main ones for agency owners that we've tested with the pilot. And with that, we've actually learned more because we want to show you what we're working on and what we'll be rolling in this beta. It's really exciting. It basically attacks the problem of motivation. We want it so if your CSM has the ability to grow and make more money themselves, well, they're incentivized to then go and take action that makes you and the company more money. And of course, do it in a way that still builds trust with the client base. And so what we've done is we we've created an algorithm in the software using real data with the pilot, and we've made a way so that all the signals that get pulled out of all your customer data actually get monetized. As the software goes in and finds these signals and puts them into categories the way Josh has built with his system, it can actually turn opportunities mixed with your real money data and monetize what they should attack first. So it helps prioritize what opportunities to investigate and dig into that ultimately they can earn commission and extra bonus on, and therefore makes you and your business more money and affects the bottom line faster and adds more profit to your business. So Josh, can we show just a little taste of what we're building for this beta and for anyone that signs up, exactly what they'll get? And then Brad, maybe you have thoughts on this as well. Josh, let's show exactly what we built.
Like Brett said, the software is so intuitive and intelligent and is able to pull out using formulas and based off of my 5 profit playbooks and the signal process that it goes through, and actually give you a very detailed opportunity. Like, hey, if you act on this, there's a potential of $42,000 at hand here. So it's not only just saying you have an opportunity here, you have an opportunity there. It's showing you here's the opportunity, but here's also the value of that opportunity potentially if it's seen all the way through.
And the customer profit engine, it tracks all of that. It helps guide your account managers. And of course, Brad, with the training you guys provide and the guidance that Tasha, of course, coaches in, it's just a perfect combo to really make your agency profitable.
This is almost a litmus test for, do I have the right team? Because a team would be using this software and its insights. They'd be looking for upsell opportunities, looking for referrals, looking for retention, escalation challenges. You immediately would have the confidence that you've got the right team. Even at a minimum, coming into being one of the 10 in the beta, if you know you've got the right team, this is going to be a wonderful complement. If you have a questionable team, well, you absolutely need those insights because you may end up needing to turn over some of those individuals.
Yeah, and so Omar, let's talk about what you actually built, right? Again, emerging technology, you're on the front lines. Brad, obviously what you guys do is all about being forward leading. And so Omar, what did you actually build? Can you show us just quickly a glimpse of what the tech is that takes it to the next level?
Yeah, absolutely. The short way of defining what we have is purpose-built, multi-agent and multimodal ingestion platform for every touch point of communication that you have with your customers that works continuously. Use frontier models that you are using today, but is embedded with our TX CSM playbooks into the interpretation. And if I can speak just a little bit about how this is built and why it's so important to have a great and secure architecture, is because so much data that you are processing and data is so important, and also security of that data is so important, that we need to provide the right environment for that ingestion to come to the platform while keeping your raw data on your existing systems. That means your HubSpot, your Slack, your Zendesk, all that is unchanged. That data remain at their places, safe and secure. The ingested information and the intelligence that we are generating stays in a secure platform where we use the best-in-class practices at every single layer on what we built.
In the pilot, talking with Serge, a big question was security. And I think every agency, every business has that question. I have data. I've worked years and years to get it for my customers. How do I know it's secure? Well, Omar, your experience in building for big businesses, I'm sure that was a concern too. Can you tell us just quickly about the security and the layers of security and how you ensure data stays with every company?
Absolutely. Data is an asset for any of the companies that are working today. But more important is the intelligence you are extracting from it. So I will split it on those two, because your raw data is still at your tools. That means if you are using HubSpot, Slack, Zendesk, your data is stored there. And the intelligence we are extracting and generating, it's always yours. You own that intelligence. And the architecture we built, in one side, allows to process without getting slower all the amount of information that your organization is generating every single day by speaking to your customers, sending emails, having meetings, etc. And on the other side is completely isolated from any other organization that's using the platform. That means from a physical layer, we have the best-in-class infrastructure using AWS, backed by through the infrastructure via render. And when it comes to software that we build, we have identity and tenant installation. That means your session and data are full wall off from every other user and organization. We have a role-based access access inside your organization, which means any administrator has full access and everyone else is capped to what you grant to them. Of course, we have encryption everywhere. That means data that is being in transit because of the integration with the existing system and the ingestion that is encrypted. Bottom line, we have the best-in-class practices. We build a scalable and safety-first platform, and you remain and stay the owner of your data and your intelligence.
Yeah, and with that, I kind of just bring attention back to our pilot, the 3 months we spent with this company bringing it, and back to the 4% number. And Brad, I know you're a KPIs guy, Josh, you're a KPI guy, Omar, you are too. We all love living the numbers. So what does this mean? Obviously, for smaller agencies, that's something, but Brad, what's it mean as they scale and grow, that retention number and getting it, decreasing churn, and really getting control of it?
I think it's very possible that we're kind of coming back to a normal, to an average. So if we look pre-internet, it was probably as difficult to get a new client as it was to keep them. So I would say they were pretty competitively balanced. As the internet emerged, online advertising, the access that we have to a larger audience now, I mean, we take it for granted. So to have your focus on sales, you probably have an actual easier sales cycle than you had before. But as now more competition comes in, we're probably seeing it was tough before, sales got a lot easier. Account management still was tough, but now you might be seeing a little bit of a shift in the opposite direction for the very first time, which is exciting, which is if sales is going to be a lot more competitive, but you can be a lot more effective on account management with tools such as this, by investing in your team, by having the right individuals, you may actually see the profitability swing in a positive direction simply by focusing on something that's not been as sexy. Josh knows that it's not been as attractive over the last 20 years as probably all the sales stuff has been, but it's certainly possible that we're entering a phase where that's really where the profitability is going to be. And that's something that I think for a lot of agency owners, they haven't yet considered that. They're still investing more in sales than they're investing in their account management team. They have Salesforce and business intelligence platforms for their sales team, but they are doing nothing on the account management side for it. So at a minimum, I would say we're probably entering a period where it's going to be equally as competitive. But again, your money comes from recurring revenue for most of our business models. If you've not been investing in account management and now there's a tool such as what you guys have developed, I would say it would make a hell of a lot of sense to be investing there because the ROI is probably going to be a lot greater. You're probably going to increase your LTV. And for everyone that knows about CAC versus LTV, it's a very, very important metric if you're looking to sell to private equity or exit your business. That is a lever that you want to be looking at here in the next 3 years.
That's why we're really excited to partner with you guys to bring this beta about. The beta, it's called the Account Manager Profit Accelerator, where you're looking for 10 agencies exclusively with AGT. And what we want to do is we want to install this software, get it running, get your account managers intelligence, and get them the leg up so they can go from reactive to proactive and start adding to your bottom line. We want them to be a profit center and not a cost center. And how it works, it's really simple, 3 steps. First, if you decide to join this beta program, we're going to come in, we're going to connect all your softwares, your Slack, your CRM, your SOPs, your project management system, all your emails, all your texts, your go high level, whatever you have, especially the transcripts. We create the connection, we pull that data in securely, and we're going to fine tune it and make sure it's perfect. We're going to have your customer health scores all lined up. We'll work that through with you and improve the data just to make sure it's perfect. Step 2, and this is the most exciting part as we build on this pilot and move into this beta, is you're going to get a one-on-one session with Josh, all right? And we want to know your goals as an agency. What things are you struggling with? How do you want to use this software for you? And we're not only going to audit the data we find and monetize it and show you how much money we think you could be making that's blind to you now that your account manager could chase, but we're also going to help you set a commission plan that works for you. And Josh, of course, quickly, you've done this your whole career. You know, you live and breathe KPIs. When you set that commission plan, can you tell us in the commission plan what that can look like incentivizing your CSM?
Yeah, actually, when I was part of a digital marketing agency, I set a commission structure that was not just looking at overall upsells. It was looking at all the different factors of relationship building with an account manager. And I had my best account manager make an additional $40,000 extra a year. It ultimately made the business itself millions of dollars based on those commissions because she was going after the right things.
And we're going to set the stage for your account manager to get excited about that and know that they have a chance to actually grow and make a difference in the bottom line of your company. And ultimately, what's that going to mean? You're going to be able to grow. And that leads into the third part, which is the group calls. Every week, we'll have this beta group with Josh and with the guidance of Tasha. And we are just going to coach up the account managers to get the most out of this intelligence and use it to go make you profit. So in summary, when you sign up, you're gonna get an audit to show you where the money is hidden. You're gonna get a full commission plan, and you're gonna get that accountability. We're gonna actually drive your account manager to make a difference. Not only that, our software will track everything so you can see what's actually happening. We're gonna check it to your actual bottom line. And ultimately, as we grow this thing, we want you to be a part of the whole ride. So you'll get every feature and every update as a part of the agency growth team and our partnership. And based on our results in the pilot, we are absolutely confident you will make your money back very quickly. In the pilot, we made it back in the very first week, just finding one opportunity for an upsell. And with all this, of course, it's about the ROI. But if you save one more client that stays an extra couple months, if you increase the LTV with this intelligence just by a couple percentage points and reduce that churn and increase the retention, if you improve your product so people love it more and you can increase your prices, or if we find an upsell or one referral, this will pay for itself as we've seen in this pilot. And so all in, just with this beta program, of course, we got big dreams for it, but for you, the first 10 agencies to commit, the investment is $9.99 per month. Of course, you do have to qualify, but if you are a customer at AGT, it's likely you are a good fit. And so, Brad, as we go on this venture and bring this thing to life as someone in these agency owners' shoes, and as someone who has worked with so many agency owners, you probably lost count. Any last words on what we're building and what we're bringing with this beta, with this partnership?
It's an absolute must-have. Most of us have been connecting this to AI and that to AI, and we're trusting the AI to give us an interpretation. That AI has not been trained by Josh, and it's not coming with Josh's knowledge and input. So from what I've seen from the platform so far, you should absolutely consider being a part of the beta, both from an investment standpoint. It will deliver a very healthy ROI. You'll probably just be happy in terms of how much more you're going to keep your clients overall and not have to worry about replacing them in the sales cycle. Just one kind of final thought. We talk about this as percentages, right? Well, if I have 10 clients and I lose 3, it's not that big of a deal. If I have 500 clients and I'm losing 3-4%, that's a huge challenge for my sales team to be able to meet each month. So the larger that you get, the more important this is going to get. So even from an investment standpoint, if it's just out of reach, make sure that you're budgeting for it 2027, 2028 as a tool that you're going to want to have in place. Just like when you invest into a director of client success or you're bringing in a leader, that's something that you plan and map out as part of your growth strategy.
Awesome. Thanks again, Brad. And if this is you and you're ready to invest, all you got to do is contact Tasha. You'll be part of this beta list. We'll bring it together, schedule your first session, get you all linked up. And we are really excited to bring this forward with you and show you the power of what we've built and what we can do for your agency. And once again, just Brad, we want to thank you for looking through this product, giving us your feedback. You have so much valuable knowledge. What you guys have built is world-class. And it truly is our honor to bring this to the world and do it with what you've built, you and your team and Tasha, and how you continue to do so. And we're really excited to bring our all and help every agency owner that's a part of this to become their best.